Hello and welcome to Crime Watch Daily Updates. I'm your host, Anna Garcia. Andre Neverson could run, but eventually he could not hide. Andre came from Trinidad and Tobago, and he moved with his family from the tropics to the concrete world of Brooklyn, New York. He had a way with the ladies and jumped from one relationship to the next, but he also had a history of violence. He once served time in a New York State prison for shooting his then girlfriend's uncle 6 times in the stomach. After getting out, he was deported, but eventually he found his way back to New York. Now, through all of his legal ordeals, his sister, Patricia, remained by his side. She visited him in prison all the time, and she supported him when he was behind bars and when he was free. Andre loaned Patricia money to help pay for a home in Brooklyn. And then tensions boiled over when he learned that the deed was in her name and not his. So on July 8th of 2002, Andre fatally shot Patricia during an argument at home. She was 39 years old. Andre fled, bringing with him his then girlfriend, 38-year-old Donna Davis. But that was the last time anyone saw Donna alive. On July 11th of 2002, a man walking his dog discovered Donna's body in an abandoned lot in Brooklyn's East New York neighborhood. She suffered from a gunshot wound to the head. Andre became a wanted man for the murders of his sister and his girlfriend, but he disappeared. He remained on the run for years until he was apprehended by U.S. Marshals in Bridgeport, Connecticut on September 4th of 2018. Andre was charged with 2 counts of murder in Brooklyn and was convicted in February of 2022. A judge sentenced Andre to 50 years to life in prison. Let's look back at the case of a wanted man who never fled that far from where he committed 2 heinous crimes.
He's a charming Casanova.
I'm the best.
Who had a way with the women.
And he was a smooth talker.
But cops say now he's one of America's top 15 most wanted fugitives as a mighty smooth, cold-blooded lady killer.
He could turn on the dime and just take somebody out.
Andre Neverson grew up along the white sandy beaches of Trinidad until his family moved to Crown Heights, a working-class section of Brooklyn. A world not quite flashy enough for Andre Neverson.
He wanted to have houses, cars, luxury cars, BMWs.
A charismatic player who kept a stable of girlfriends.
He had many children with different women.
But in his heart, none of Neverson's many girlfriends held a candle to his devoted sister, Patricia.
She helped everybody and still did things for us. It's almost like she was 2 people in one.
And what about your mom's relationship with Andre?
She did everything for him too.
With a loan from her brother Andre, Patricia realized her own American dream, buying this $370,000 brick row house on a quiet street in Brooklyn.
He was actually one of my favorite uncles. I mean, ever since I was born, he was always there.
But turns out, Andre also had a dark side.
And he exhibited a lot of violent tendencies.
One night, he had an argument with his then-girlfriend, and when her family member intervened, Neverson reacted by pumping 6 bullets into his body.
The uncle lived, but Neverson was ultimately convicted of assault, and he went to jail in New York State Corrections, and he served 5 years.
Every single weekend for 5 years, Patricia drove 6 hours round trip to visit her brother in jail.
She's sending money for your books and bringing you groceries when she comes.
Patricia was supporting him.
And many of his girlfriends came to visit him, and Patricia was able to coordinate the scheduling.
After serving his time, Neverson was deported to Trinidad, but within a year, he wormed his way right back into New York.
How does he make his way back to the United States?
He secured somehow a Jamaican passport, and he was able to get back into this country through Canada.
Back on U.S. soil, Andre moved in with his loving sister Patricia, but the dazzle he once held in her eyes had dulled.
She kind of didn't have that for 5 years, but she had to learn how to do things on her own.
And with that independence came tensions between the two, all stemming from that loan Andre gave to his sister to buy the house.
The deed was in his sister's name, and he was a very, very angry about that for years.
Patricia was diligently paying it back, but Andre didn't want the money. He wanted the deed.
In his mind, I think he looked at that house as his road to success, how he could use that equity to grow that into a real estate mogul.
And as he worked on ways to wrestle control of the house, he worked his charms on a pretty young nursing student named Donna Davis.
I am very, very proud of my daughter.
Donna's dad, Clyde, was very protective of his only daughter, so when Mr. Slick came around, he was not pleased.
Did you ever have a bad feeling about him?
To be truthful, I really didn't care for Andre.
But as Andre and Donna's relationship was heating up, tensions between Andre and his sister were about to boil over.
It just escalated things, and they got into an argument where there was no turning back.
And on a steamy July evening in Brooklyn, Andre makes a chilling phone call to his father.
Andre told them that he had killed his sister.
Andre's dad calls 911 and rushes to the house to find his daughter in a pool of blood.
There's no remorse.
That's correct.
Just a cold, callous killer.
Yes.
Cops say after coldly gunning down his sister, Andre flees the house, straight into the arms of the other loving woman in his life.
That's when he got into an argument with Donna Davis in the car.
But when Donna, a promising young nursing student, didn't turn up at home that evening, her parents grew concerned.
My wife, she said, Clyde, Donna should be here already.
Worried, Donna's mother calls the precinct to report her daughter missing. The Davis family knew nothing about Patricia's murder, but that would soon change.
The parents had heard something had happened to Andre's sister, and putting two and two together, there was obvious concern.
It wasn't long after Donna Davis went missing when a man walking his dog right in this area around 1 o'clock in the afternoon came across a body.
It was Donna's body, callously abandoned in a vacant lot, killed by a single gunshot to the head.
And what hurt me most of all, a dog found the body.
Cops say Andre's motive to viciously gun down his sister was over the house. But what could be behind the senseless murder of his girlfriend?
Emotions got involved, and unfortunately Donna was there at a bad time.
U.S. Marshals scour the tri-state area, but soon the trail goes ice cold. Then a possible break. Several months later, someone spots the alleged killer right on his home turf, Brooklyn.
He had broken into one of his girlfriend's apartments because he wanted to see his children. And then there was a dispute there, a 911 call went out, and then the hunt for him took a jump start again.
Much to cops' frustration, the cunning criminal slips through their fingers again. Then, years passed with nothing, until another break lights up investigators, spots him in Jamaica.
We had a team of marshals that went there. He was actually detained.
But once again, Neverson slipped out of investigators' clutches, never to be located since. Andre Neverson is now 53 years old, and he's one of the top 15 most wanted in America, with a $25,000 reward for information leading to his capture.
He's a dangerous man.
And the feds want nothing more than to catch him. They're enlisting the help of Crime Watch Daily, hoping to generate an avalanche of tips which could finally put Neverson behind bars.
Is this the case when you are at home and things are running through your mind? Andre Neverson is at the forefront.
I could even be on vacation, thinking I might see him.
Patricia's son Akeem now works as a corrections officer and says he's confident that one day his mother's killer, his own uncle, will be brought to justice.
I think it's one of those moments just when he'll slip up.